Okay, monitoring this right now, but Fed Chairman Jerome Powell is speaking in Arlington, Virginia at the Society for Advancing Business, Editing, and Writing Conference. And you might be wondering, at Business, Editing, and Writing Conference, why monitor that? Well, because he's taking questions about tariffs and global trade right now. Some of the comments that he's already said is that we don't make projections of any recession. He said there are others that do that, and they may be projecting a recession, but the Federal Reserve does not do that. He also says they realize uncertainty is high, but says uncertainty will decline. Says within a year, we'll look back. If we'll fast forward a year down the road, we'll look back and things will be much clearer, because whatever policy, whatever changes are going into place today will be known by that time. So he says time takes care of uncertainty. Also, we don't know where this comes to rest, and so we, the Federal Reserve, stay away from the political process. And this all coming at the same time that President Trump on Truth Social says the operation is over, the patient lived and is healing. Prognosis is that the patient will be far stronger, bigger, better, and more resilient than ever before. All right, with all that in mind, where are we going with the markets here? Let's start first with corn. We've seen corn come off of the lows for the day. December at 444.5. It's down 3 cents. So trading really right in the middle of the day's trading range. What about the soybean trade? Well, soybean still lower, but 987.25. That's down 29.75 cents. Soy meal contracts have been lower all day after a higher close yesterday. Soy oil is lower across the board. To the wheat market, we'll start first with Chicago. 540.5, it's down 9.5. Hard red, July, 568.5, down 12.25. Spring wheat, December is 8.75 lower, 631. And the cotton market off of its lows, December 65.56, down 199. All right, let's go to market research analyst for CHS, Joe Lardy. Joe, kind of run through what's happening on the row crops there, but man, when we look over at the currencies, what's happening there?
Well, we're seeing big moves really across the board, right? We're seeing the equity markets reacting to this, and thankfully we're not in the energy markets. As I look, crude is down 7.5%. Nat gas is down substantially. Where our markets, yes, they're down, but maybe not as bad as some other things. So I'm trying to take some positives from today's price action out of this. And like you mentioned, the corn market, the front end of the corn market has kind of been hovering around unchanged now. Given all the news, given basically the ugliness across sectors, across equities, across commodities, across energies, to have the corn market relatively unchanged, I'm going to take that as at least somewhat of a bright spot out of today's price action.
Yeah, again, we've stacked a lot of things up here, but uncertainty, markets don't like it, do they?
No, not at all, right? And we've gone through this pattern for basically ever since the election, right? We knew tariffs were coming. That wasn't a surprise. That wasn't a secret. And now that they've been announced, I think the biggest reaction that we needed to be concerned with was what was going to happen with our trading counterparties. What were they going to do, and how would that affect us? And now we've got that. We've got the certainty. Markets are probably going to take a day or two to figure everything out and come to their footing. But like you said, now we've got certainty. Now we know where things are at, and now the markets can, price it in or react accordingly to the news that we know.
And again, news that we know kind of changes on almost a minute-by-minute basis, depending upon what country is reacting to what. So, all right, before we go, any final thoughts here on a Friday as we head into a weekend?
Well, what I think this does is now that we have certainty, now we can look ahead towards weather and planting and the upcoming WASDE reports, and we can get back to the fundamentals and the things that we know and love and really understand really well.
All right, Joe, always great to see you. Again, Joe Lardy with CHS Hedging. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll look at livestock markets. Market Day Report continues in a moment.